Hi, my name is Ferrara, and you've just tuned into the Phoebe Option channel on YouTube. And today I am going to be talking about my relationship with my husband. And I'm going to do that by using the military spouse tag. For those of you who don't know, I am a military spouse. And I thought it would be fun and interesting to do this tag. So the very first question is, how did you and your spouse meet? My husband and I met through college. We both attended the same university, and we met through our classes and our ROTC program. How old were you when you two met? We were young. We were in college, so we were young. We both attended college right out of high school, so. How long have you been together? We've been together for close to 6 years. It's been a long time. Where are you and your spouse originally from? My husband is from Riverside, California, but he's also lived in Chesapeake, Virginia. And I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, but I've also lived in Los Angeles, California. And the reason why I stated both of those places is because we've lived in both places for a long time. How did you feel about him joining the military? I supported my husband. I still support him. I felt like it was a great career move. I was just so honored and proud to be with someone who held our country at such high esteem that they would want to serve and protect our nation. So I was definitely on board with him joining the military active duty. Where did your spouse go to basic training? My husband never went to basic training. He went in as an officer, and they go through a leadership course that they have to attend and pass in order to commission, and that course was held at Fort Lewis at the base in Washington State. Has your spouse ever been deployed? Yes, my husband has been deployed to Afghanistan for a year. Ever been to his promotion ceremony? Yes, I've been to his promotion ceremony, and it brought tears to my eyes. I was so proud of him, and I was the one that got to pin the ring on him, and I was just so proud. It was a really proud moment. How long have you been a military wife? I've been a military wife for close to 3 years now. Did you marry him before or after he joined? I married him after he joined. Technically, he was in the Guard when I met him, and I was in the Guard too. But he had just went active when we got married. How did your husband propose? We didn't really have a formal proposal. It was more of a discussion. Him and I have always been very serious since the time we started officially dating, that we always knew we wanted to get married, and it just came down to when. And we decided on a date, and we did it. How old were you two when you got married? We were in our 20s, our mid-20s, early 20s, I guess. Did he wear his uniform on his wedding day? No. He did not wear his uniform on our wedding day. And we didn't have a wedding anyways, so he just wore a suit, and I had on a little white dress. Where are you and your spouse currently stationed? We're stationed at Fort Hood, Texas right now. Do you live on base? No, and I honestly don't think that we would. Not to knock anyone who does live on post. To each his own, but for us, post living is just not where we want to be. We like having the separation from work, and we like having freedom to live wherever we want to live and not have to abide by the rules that they have on post, and just to not be in that working environment 24/7. How long were you married when you had to go through your first separation? We were married for about 6 months before we had our first major separation, and that was when he had to go to JRTC because we found out he was deploying. So he had to go to this training site, and he was gone for a month or 2 months or something like that. What is your favorite base so far? I would say both my husband and I agree on this. We think that Fort Sill, Oklahoma is our best base that we've had the pleasure of living thus far. And I guess it's because it's where we got married, it's where we started our life together, it's where we got our first place. It just has so many fond memories for us. The people that we met are still our closest friends to this day. It just holds a really high place in our hearts. Do you think your spouse looks good in his uniform? I always think my husband looks good. I think my husband is very beautiful on the inside and out, and he looks good any day, anytime, any point in his life. He always looks good to me. I've seen my husband at his highest and his lowest moments, and he's always looked so handsome and so beautiful. So I definitely would say he looks good in uniform. Do you think military life is more advanced than civilian life? I don't really know what they mean by this. If they mean more fast-paced, I would say probably moderately. It might be a little bit more advanced, but I'm not really sure what they meant by that, so I'm going to kind of bypass that one. Do you like the benefits you receive as a military dependent? I'm very thankful for the benefits that I do receive from the military. I am. I'm not going to say that I'm not. I am. Do you have a lot of military wife friends? I don't have a lot of friends. My husband is my best friend, so I don't really look for a lot of friends, but I will say that when the time is relevant for us to pull together, we do. So when the guys are deployed, I don't care about rank. I don't care, how long your husband's been in, how long my husband's been in. We're all in it together, and at that point we just pull together and we get through it. And so I would say on that aspect I do. I'm here for all of my sisters that are military spouses whenever they need me. So I would say that I do. What is the hardest part of military life? I would say the hardest part is the separation. When you get married, you don't go into it thinking, oh, I'm always going to be apart from my husband. We're not going to be together all the time. You just don't think about that. You think, oh, we're in this together. And there's moments I know where I felt like I was alone, and I had to remind myself that just because my husband is not here beside me doesn't mean he's not here with me in spirit and he's over the phone. I think that's when communication plays a huge role. When my husband was deployed, yes, there was technology, but it was very, very poor technology. The internet service was terrible, but it was very expensive. We were paying $200+ for his internet service, yet I could barely talk to him. I could see him, but I couldn't hear him, or it would be like a 5-minute delay. I mean, it was always something. Or he would send me a message and he wouldn't get my response, or I would send him a message and I couldn't get his, and then he's frustrated, I'm frustrated. There were just a lot of things that were really difficult, but we stayed through it together. Prayer got us through. God definitely got us through. And I feel like that's with all relationships, but I guess you're faced with it more on the military side. The next question is, do you own military wife stuff? I don't think I really do. And if I do, I do. I own one thing, and that is a pin that my husband's unit gave me, and that's it. The next thing is, do you support your spouse as a member of the military? Yes, I do. Just like my husband supports me in the career fields that I go into, I support him. I try to support my husband through everything, and he tries to do the same for me, and I think that's the only way to do it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was a great experience for me. This is my very first video, so I'm nervous, and please bear with me, and you can expect more from the Phoebe option. Thank you.